What's up, guys? Dustin McDangles back here with another video, and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're getting back into the season preview series, and we'll be taking a look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, how they finished up last year with team stats, individual stats, as well as take a look at their contracts, draft capital, and preview what I think they will do for this upcoming season. But if you are new to the channel, you guys already know the deal. Hit that subscribe button. It is completely free, does not cost you guys a single penny. Join the community, help us grow. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers before the All-Star break. We're definitely going to hit 600 before the start of the season. So join the channel, join the community. Let's have some fun. But getting into it today, guys, the Toronto Maple Leafs, man, oh man, it was a roller coaster ride. Great, solid regular season. Finally won a round in the playoffs, which is awesome for them. A good stepping stone for the future. But they finished the year off 50, 21, and 11 for 111 points. Second in the division, only behind the President Trophy winner Boston Bruins. What a year it was. Individual stat lines on the screen right now. Mitch Marner leading the way, 99 points in 80 games played, was plus 18 on the year. William Nylander, 87 points in 82 games played. This is most likely going to be his last year with the Maple Leafs unless they're able to work some cap magic. Austin Matthews, 85 points in 74 games played. Hopefully he can have a full healthy season. John Tavares, 80 points in 80 games played. And then Michael Bunting, 49 in 82. Rounding out the rest of the top 10, you've got Morgan Riley, Youngkrook, Kerfoot, Kampf, and then Mark Giordano, 24 in 78 games played. Moving over now to cap space, draft capital. When it comes to their projected cap hit, they are currently way over the cap right now, according to Cap Friendly. Projected to exceed the salary cap by means of long-term. Okay, so per injured reserve, they are technically okay now looking at it. Draft capital for next season, they've got a first, a third, fourth, 2/5, a sixth, and 2/7. So they have a little bit of draft capital the year after that, 2025. They don't have a first, they don't have a second, they don't have a fourth. So they're pretty thin on picks in the future. Looking on this list, some of the players you guys can't actually see on this one. Nick Robinson, he is still on the injured reserve. I'm assuming he's going to be ready for the team this upcoming season. He is on a contract year as well and will be a restricted free agent. Long-term injured reserve, though, Jake Muzzin and Matt Murray still on there. Each has 1 year left on their current deal. Looking at the main portion of their contracts, a few contract years for some players, a couple guys that just signed in and should be exciting to see them play. But William Nylander on the last year of his deal at $6.962 million. Doubt they're going to be able to re-sign him, though. If I were them, I'd probably try to trade and get something out of him so they don't lose him for nothing. You've got Tyler Bertuzzi, signed a 1 year $5.5 million deal. Max Domi signed a 1 year $3 million deal. So they're going to be unrestricted after this upcoming season. Sam Lafferty, $1.15 million. As well as Dylan Gramble, he is on a not an entry level deal, but a bottom line deal, $775,000. On the back end, a bunch of contract years. TJ Brody, John Klingberg, who signed a 1 year deal. And you've got Timothy Lindgren, as well as Mark Giordano, all of those guys on contract years. And between the pipes, another big year, Samsonov, he signed a 1 year deal, $3.55 million, as well as Martin Jones, also going to be up after this upcoming season after he signed a $875,000 deal. So going to be really interesting. And looking at the rest of their contracts, again, the big news that we all know, Austin Matthews did re-sign with the Leafs, $13.25 million for 4 years after this upcoming season at $11.640 million. John Tavares has $11 million left for 2 years. Mitch Marner, $10.903 million for the next 2 years as well. Going down the depth, they've got Camp at 2.4 for the next 4. You've got Youngkrook, 2.1 for the next 3. Ryan Reeves, they signed him this offseason, $1.35 million for the next 3 years. A little grit there. You've got Matthew Nye still on his entry level. You've got Holmberg at $800,000 for the next 2 years. And on the back end, Morgan Riley, one of the best contracts in the NHL, $7.5 million for the next foreseeable future until 2029. You've got Jake McCabe, $2 million. They were able to trade for him. You've got Connor Timmins, $1.1 million for the next 2. And then Joseph Woll is at $766,000 for that. But overall contracts, I'd say are decent for the time being. Somehow they were able to pull some draft cap gymnastics, I should say, to bring in Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi, which I think will be huge pieces for them. Getting into my official prediction now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. This team on paper is absolutely stacked, and you can say that every year about the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's a matter of can they get it done in the playoffs, because we know they're going to have a solid regular season. Finished last year 111 points. I expect them to be around that 108 to 115 point range again, battling for the conference or battling for the division title for sure. It'll be them, Tampa, maybe Boston, potentially Buffalo, who knows, but can they get it done in the playoffs? And with some of the players that they brought in, Bertuzzi, Domi, Reeves, Klingberg is another big one that they brought in, Martin Jones for more goaltending depth because Matt Murray is out. It's looking pretty decent for my thoughts about the Toronto Maple Leafs to make a deep run into the playoffs. Now, I might be crazy saying that, and everyone's going to be like, oh, Leafs lover, Leafs lover. I don't love the Leafs. I like the Leafs. They're a very solid team. My wife is a Leafs fan, so I kind of have to deal with her pain on a nightly basis whenever it is not doing so well. But, man, I expect big years out of a couple players. Obviously, Marner, Matthews, Tavares. I expect Morgan Riley to have another big year. I'm really excited to see Matthew Nyes come in and play a full year for the Leafs. Really excited to see what Klingberg can do on the back end, relieve some pressure of Morgan Riley being the only top offensive defenseman on their team, because Timothy Lindgren really hasn't stepped up into that number 2 role for that position. Super excited to see what Bertuzzi and Domi can do if they can maybe throw in, let's say, Domi 50-point season, Bertuzzi, let's say, 75-point season. That'd be absolutely crazy, and if they can do that, man, oh man, sky's the limit for the Leafs. But Ryan Reeves coming over, really excited to see what he can bring to the table. There's a lot of stuff, if you're an NHL fan and not a Leafs fan, to be excited about watching these Toronto Maple Leafs. And I'm sure they'll be on TV a ton, both in Canada and in the U.S., nationally broadcasted. So look out for the Leafs, man. They're definitely a dark horse for me to win the Stanley Cup. And yes, I say dark horse because they haven't done it in so long. And that does stick with players. Like, you might not think, oh, it's not a big deal. They don't think about they haven't won in forever. Oh, in Toronto, it definitely weighs heavy on the players. Yes, they finally got out of the first round, but the expectation now is, okay, Stanley Cup or bust. That is how the fans perceive it. That is how they look at it. It is a Stanley Cup or bust when you have a team such as the Leafs do with Matthews, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, now adding Bertuzzi, Domi, you got Riley, Klingberg. I mean, expectations are as high as they've ever been for these Toronto Maple Leafs. Will they live up to it? I really don't know, but I want to know what you guys have to say about the Toronto Maple Leafs and what you think they will do this upcoming season. Who's going to have the biggest year? Is it going to be Matthews? Is it going to be Marner? Is Morgan Riley going to throw his name into the hat for maybe winning Defenseman of the Year? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about the Toronto Maple Leafs. And if you guys also did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like on it. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is completely free, does not cost you guys a single penny, so be sure to do that. You guys have been awesome doing so. Be sure to check out the links in the description. We've got 2 promo codes for you guys to take advantage of from SeatGeek as well as GFUEL. That is for you guys to save some money. But that's going to be it for this one. I hope you have a good one, and as always, stay dusty.